So, what's up, guys? Coming to you live from the tool shed in the Midwest here on a kind of a cloudy, rainy day, but it feels really nice out here. Beats 100-degree weather. It's about 80 something. It feels perfect. Nice breeze, a little bit of rain. Good day to sit in the tool shed and talk. Today's topic, I want to talk about the current state of, at least with, sorry, I'm making all kinds of noise, trying to make room here. The current state of tool trucks, at least from my experience lately. And I know tool trucks vary on who owns and operates them. Vastly varies. A good tool, in my opinion, this is my personal opinion, a good tool truck should be loaded to the gills with inventory. And not just any particular kind per se. Obviously, they need to know their target on their route. But what I mean by that is they just need to have a lot of different kinds of tools, even if they think they might not sell, or they just need to rotate them better. If they do, one of my old tool Snap-on guys, which that I bought majority of my Snap-on tools, including my tool cart that we're sitting on top, or my phone's on top, and you're seeing from. I'll show this off sometime. I always liked he runs two trucks. He's got a guy working underneath him. I really liked him, Brian Haas, in the St. Louis area on the Illinois side. If you got him, you know what I'm talking about. That dude is awesome. He's got his tool trucks. He always has every square inch of that truck with something on it, and he rotates the stuff occasionally. And he's got his product of the month out where you can see it. Dude's got it down. I bet he's probably one of the best higher sellers in the area. He's got a great route. I know that helps a lot, but I always love going on his truck. He's always got everything. If you don't have it, he's got a warehouse. He's got a storage place where he keeps a lot of his excess inventory, like his tool carts and toolboxes. He always kept a lot of that stuff, which was awesome. I gotta grab a hand wipe. I got cleaning some tools and stuff off. My hands are getting greasy. That dude, he's a great dealer, Snap-on dealer. That dude sells a lot. He sold me a lot. I spent quite a bit of money with him, and I still text him even though he's not my current dealer, because he could usually a lot of time will have what I'm looking for, and if he don't, he's got contacts that I can get it within the same week usually. That's a good guy. I wish all tool truck guys were as good as him. And that's why I don't mind spending big bucks with him, because of the quality of service he would give me is bar none compared to other guys. And I'm not trying to pick on any other current and past dealers I've had, but he stands out above the rest, and that was always nice. So, but my pet peeve nowadays is with the current state of things. I understand they're scared to have too much inventory right now because people aren't buying as much. Fuel prices are high, so they don't want to fat inventory and not move a lot of stuff and drive around with all this extra stuff. And I understand it to a degree, but I think, at least for me and a lot of the guys, especially young guys that I worked with that are in shops making decent money, and they're not bottom level paid techs. A lot of the shops I worked at always paid pretty decently. So once I got to the bigger places, I think a lot of us are impulse buyers. I mean, I think that was always the catch of Snap-on and other tool trucks. They make their buck off of impulse buys. They don't make as much on the guys that are more calculated. Well, don't get me wrong. A lot of my purchases are calculated. I don't usually just go up there and be like, "What do you got? Oh, you got that? $1,000? I'll take it." That's not usually me. When it's that expensive, that's where I'm like, give me a week. Give me 2 weeks to think about it before I drop that kind of money. Because I don't like having a lot of tool credit. Some guys I've seen go nuts. They'll rack up a lot on their tool credit. I've never been that kind of guy. The most I've ever had at any given point was $2,000. And if I was buying anything big like that, I would put money down. Sounds like something fell outside. So, that's also another thing too. That especially newer, younger mechanics, I think you need to be careful. If you've never been on a tool truck, don't get on there and rack up what you can't pay off. I've been at rock bottom where I owed a tool guy and I didn't have money. I didn't have income for a while, and that was hard because I had to pay him. I ended up having to give him a lot of tools back, more expensive tools back to stay afloat, and in exchange they'll let him make money. So don't put yourself in that position. I know it's hard not to, but you need to. When you get on that tool truck, be smart about how you use your credit on there. Because there's obviously two different kinds of credit you can get on a snow tool truck. You can get the kind that just stays on the tool truck, and then you can get the kind that goes on like a credit card through the tool company. And if you got the latter one, that's a different ball game. That's like having a credit card. The other one's like having a store, like a mom and pop credit line where you just go up there and you deal with them one-on-one all the time. So that one's going to impact the tool truck owner a lot more than the latter one. So just keep that in mind. If you got a good tool guy, good tool vendor or dealer, that they'll work with you. Another trick I found with a lot of tool guys is don't go on there asking for free stuff all the time. I see guys do that, or they'll haggle and be like, well, if this is my trick. This is what I would do. Maybe I'm letting the cat out of the bag a little bit. Don't ask for anything extra all the time. So a lot of time they'll just give you stuff. Just like, hey, you buy this, I'll even throw in a hat, whatever. Well, my tool guy, he knew that I didn't ask for stuff. My Brian, I hardly ever asked for stuff, but all the other guys would, and I'd give those guys shit on the tool truck. Like, oh yeah, you gotta squeeze every ounce you can get out of this guy, don't you? To be a real a-hole to him. I'd make them laugh. So my plan is when I knew I was going to make a big purchase, like $1,000 plus, like my tool cart or something like that, I would save up my asking for them, because then they're going to be a little more willing to give, because obviously, you're spending some real money with them then, and then on top of that, you weren't begging for stuff all the time. You weren't asking for the hats and the socks and the shirts and whatever. So if you save up all your favors, and then you're like, when the big purchase comes out, like, look, man, I haven't asked for anything all year. I'm going to buy a couple grand worth of items on your truck. What are you going to give me? Then that's when he's going to be like, what do you want? Then you can damn near pick out whatever you want. I mean, yeah, you're making a big purchase. But when I didn't do that, if I didn't ask for any, he would usually just ask if I wanted something. Well, that was awesome. Now I've had other tool that I'm currently dealing with, not Snap-on really, but my Matco vendor or dealer. And she gives me pretty good pricing, so I don't complain about this. But I know a lot of guys complain. They're like, well, if I buy that, do I get this shirt or this knick-knack tool, like they usually give out? And she's like, no, with the cost of fuel, I can't give that out right now, and that, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, come on, just, you guys don't pay hardly anything for the, what I call the giveaway stuff, like the cheap t-shirts, the cheap trucker caps like this one, those dealers don't, I can't imagine them paying that much. I could be wrong. Maybe they pay close to retail for them, but I find that very hard to believe when I've seen what it costs to manufacture certain things for clothing material. It don't cost much. Especially if you're spending, and again, I don't know the inside workings as well as like Chad from CP Tool Attic or other places. I know they know the insides better because they've done it, but if I was a tool guy, I'd probably be giving so much of that crap out just to get it off my truck because I wouldn't want to see it. And it's gonna it should make, in theory, make more guys come back and buy more from you. But that's just me. I'm a different kind of guy. I'm not a salesman. But yeah, so that kind of bring it full circle around is the current state of things. They're not giving stuff out, man. I mean, so I see a lot of guys. They'll base their decision on that, and or me, I'm like I said, I'm a plan buyer for more expensive stuff, but like little things like this, like these crow's feet sets that I got here from Matco. When you got stuff like that and the price is pretty good, even if it's a little bit higher than I feel like it should be, I'm probably going to impulse buy that more than picking it out in the catalog, because I hate that when they pull out the catalog. Don't get me wrong, there's some things I understand. You're going to want a really big thing, like a toolbox or whatever. That I'm going to pick out of a catalog more likely to get exactly what I want, because I'm spending a lot of money on it. But like your knick-knack tools, yeah, again, you could see why I've been kind of sucking up to my Matco chick lately, because she keeps stuff like knick-knack stuff. It seems like she's keeping more of this kind of knick-knack stuff. Or I call it knick-knack stuff, but like these organizers, they've been pushing them hard lately. But I've been buying a lot more of that stuff as an impulse buy. And I'm not usually an impulse buyer on a lot of things, but when it comes to tool truck stuff, I do get a little impulse buy, but I don't spend, I usually don't go over $500 or whatever if I'm doing those kind of buys, like those little magnetic holders, they're like $40-$50 or whatever, stuff like that. I'll buy that stuff if it's useful. I won't buy it just if I don't feel like it's useful, but like these, I needed them. They're useful. I'm going to use the shit out of them because I used the shit out of my Harbor Freight ones. Things like that. Tool guys, you need to keep. Like even this was an impulse buy. Or my big green impact. This was an expensive impulse buy that I shouldn't have bought when I bought it. I like it. I do use it. I don't use it enough to justify what I paid for it, but I use it, and I've made my money's back on it, easily on it. But again, that's the deal. The Snap-on truck's getting pretty barren, man. I get on there, and it was looking like last year when I was on a Cornwell truck. It was pretty barren. And let me ask you this too: how are you going to have a product of the month and not have it on your truck, especially if it's a cheap product of a month? Like, example, mid-year last year, so right around this time, maybe a little later, maybe it was closer to fall, I don't remember, but it was between end of summer, beginning of fall. I was at work, I was helping out on another shop, and through a company I worked for, so it was one of their other locations I was at. They had a Cornwell dealer there. We didn't have one back at the shop that I was usually from. We just had Snap-on. So I was excited to get on a Cornwell truck. It's been 10 years since I've been on one or more. So I get on there. Dude hands me a flyer and goes, "This is what we got going on this month, blah, blah, blah." And I'm looking at it, and they had one of the magnetic folding mat things. And I, obviously, I'm a sucker for magnetic stuff. I got tons. I got Snap-on magnetic stuff. I got Matco magnetic stuff. I got, you name it. I got a lot of it. I got more in my box here. I got all kinds of magnetic knick-knack stuff that I like, that works well for my jobs. Oh, back there, on the yellow thing, that's magnetic bolt organizer thing for when you're working on stuff, So that was right up my alley for impulse buying things, magnetic folding mat. Man, that would be nice because I could fold it up, slide it in my box, put it away. It's nice. I don't have to leave it stuck to the side of my box if I don't want it to, or I can, like I do with my Snap-on ones. $35, whatever, not expensive. I would have paid for it cash there on the spot. I had it in my pocket. So I go, "Hey, you got this?" "Oh, no, we had to order it." How are you going to have something that's a cheap item? If it's $35, they're probably paying half of that for it, or at least the tool company itself is paying for it. He's probably paying a little bit more, but regardless, he's buying that crap on credit more than likely. So he could have bought 10 sets of them, kept them on his truck, since he knew it was going to be the product of the month, because they learn that stuff before it actually hits on the flyer, and had it ready to go. I asked him 2 times in that same month if he had them on the truck, because he was like, well, no, I can order it. I can get one to you in a week or so. I'm like, I don't want it in a week. I want it today. It's a product of the month. You go to O'Reilly's, and they got their product of the month. Guess where it's at? Up front, centered, right as soon as you walk in. That's kind of my pet peeve for current tool trucks. And I get it. The struggle's real for you tool truck guys at the moment. High fuel prices, is not only affecting your truck operation directly, but it's also affecting your mechanics that buy out, your customer mechanics that are buying from you, because they're not going to be as likely to spend as much with you. And I understand that, but this was before all that too. So this has started already. This was already happening. This was a trend that I've seen going on. It wasn't only his truck. I've seen it on other tool. I've seen it on Snap-on trucks outside of Brian's truck. I've seen it on, when I'm visiting other shops and a tool truck goes on, I just like to get on there and see what they got, even if I'm not going to buy anything that day. Or if I do, I'll buy something, that's less than $50 that I have in my pocket, that day, just as a, like a thank you for letting me browse your inventory kind of thing. You let me on your truck, and I don't even work. I'm not even your customer. I'll do that, or I'll buy, whatever, $10 magnet stick thing, whatever they got. But yeah, that's just my rant. It sucks. I hate seeing it. I like spending money on the toll trucks. If you're going to do it smartly. Don't overspend what you can afford. Use the toll credit wisely. Don't go racking up thousands of dollars on there that you can't pay back in a reasonable amount of time or at all. But there you go, guys. Tell me what you think. Curious to know, to see what your thoughts are, see what your experiences are lately with toll trucks. I'm kind of curious to see if it's like that in other states. Like here it is in Illinois and part of St. Louis, Missouri, where I was at, when I started seeing that stuff for the first time. But alrighty, talk to you later.